Good morning, everybody. Welcome. If you could do us a favor and smash the like button, or tap the like button, or flick the like button, or just hit the like button. Just go down with the cursor, with your finger. Find the like button, not the dislike button, not that one. Although I prefer you hit that than hit nothing. Hit the one with the thumbs up. In fact, hit it and then hold a thumb. Just hold it and just feel good about that. You know what I mean? Like thumb to the sky, thumbs to the sky, thumbs to the sky, thumbs to the sky. Al says I already did. Okay, you gotta go make another account. Come back in. We'll see you soon. Yeah. I need to get a sense of where you guys are at. Put a 1 into the chat. Put a 1 into the chat if you feel as though Stephen Strange in the MCU is the Sorcerer Supreme. If you think that Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU, put a 1 into the chat. Just curious. Oh, did you see you son of a in there scrolling through? Did you see it? Did you see Trinity's protest? I saw it. It was glorious as it scrolled up over the horizon at Nerd Ventures Tower. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Intimidating. Okay, we can change it to something like nice and soft, sad and loving or something. Find something for you. Hang on. Hey, Chet. Something a little softer. Yeah, they said it's too aggressive.
I'm going under in this time. I feel there's no one to save. This all and nothing really got away. It's driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to hate, but it's never the same. I guess just never like the way you numbed all the pain of the day bleeds into nightfall. You're not here, give me through it all. I was getting kinda used to being
Oh, the microphone? Yeah. That's all. All right. Let's do the thing. Let's do the thing, man. Put me in, coach. Put me in. Hey-o. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, nerd vengers. Welcome, broke vengers. Lovers, haters, visitors to the towers. Everybody in between. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day out there. Not too much crazy news to talk about today. I did want to get into, well, frankly, a bunch of conspiracy talk and weird ramblings when it comes to Loki. The Loki series changing its date to Wednesdays. Changing its date to Wednesdays. What? Yeah, so of course it makes sense. You don't want friendly fire. You don't want these two shows competing. But at the same time, how does the Bad Batch, a 30-minute show that's animated, get the Friday slot? You know what I mean? And how do they move Loki, which from my understanding was tracking better than both of the previous Marvel shows? How do they put Loki in a Wednesday slot? There's a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to sort of take in, a lot to speculate about. Does this mean that Disney's trying to take over the entire week? Reminds me a little bit of when Greg Berlanti in the CW universe started just taking over days. You know what I mean? There was a time after Arrow when The Flash came out, and The Flash show was absolutely dominating. And I believe The Flash was, if I'm not mistaken, one of the most popular, if not the most popular show that the CW ever had, like in its second season or something like that at the time. I don't know if that's still the case. But, man, they just took over, man. They just took over all those nights of the week with all those superhero shows. And as we move forward, you know, with Disney, with coming Star Wars shows, you know, there's a lot of Andor leaks, you know, Cassian Andor show leaks out there. Pretty wild. There are leaks for Kenobi out there, you know. So they're ramping up, and there's going to be a lot of different shows coming out. It seems like we might get to a point where at least 3 nights a week, possibly 4 nights a week, something original programming from Disney Plus is arriving on the scene. You know what I mean? Now that's pretty interesting. But also, and I do want to just kind of get into more of this in a minute, I find it fascinating, again, that Loki got the bump. And, like, make no mistake about it, they had official marketing out there that said June 11th. This was an audible at the line, obviously. So what happened? Why did they do that? You know what I mean? So I want to get into that, talk a little bit about that, see what's going on with you guys. There was a Stranger Things trailer that dropped. Apparently there could be some juicy leaks matriculating out on the interweb, so we'll be going into the theater checking that out as we usually do. But before we get into all that and more, show notes! Okay, first of all, I have to apologize for yesterday. No NNR, no Darren's Danger Room. I apologize. Guys, frankly, I was exhausted. I hit a wall, and I simply needed to take a little break, and I do apologize because honestly I didn't want to do it, especially for Darren's sake. I really didn't want to last minute cancel the show. That show's great. We have a lot of momentum going there, and I know people love seeing Darren and I cut it up. So mostly apologies to her, but apologies to you guys as well. Everything should be back on track for today, but frankly there's just a lot of stuff on my plate, and I'm like really trying to get to the weekend, but not actually to rest, to not have to make content, to work on other stuff like that. So apologies about that, but you should be back to your regular scheduled programming tonight after dark. Will be going down, and in fact I have a take from the man himself, Al Shuler, which we're going to watch, you and I, on this stream a little bit later in the show. all about the Black Superman, turning Clark Kent black, and some of the interesting things that were being said yesterday by a whole bunch of people. I was really intrigued by some of the things I saw on Twitter, even on Black Twitter, with regards to the Clark Kent sort of thing. It was really interesting, and Al has a take on that, so we're going to check that out later. But regardless, Al and Lavis will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And perhaps if you are interested in something he says during his take, you want to pose a question to him or Lavis, come on by for that later tonight. We will be doing a watch party for the next episode of The Bad Batch, episode 2, which is to air at 3 a.m. Friday, tomorrow morning. And holy crap, I'm going to make sure that I'm there for that one, because it's been a wild week of trying to figure out how to cover all this content. And of course, I slept past my alarm. For the premiere. Yeah, wasn't that great. Feel bad about it, actually. Pretty bad. Regardless, we shall be going in to that show, to episode 2. And I'm quite excited about it. Also dropped a preview video about episode 2 and sort of a breakdown of episode 1 yesterday on the main channel. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. All right, let's get into this, man. Let us get into this. So, perhaps this is where we should start. I would like to know, I'd like to get a sense from you guys as far as how you feel about Loki and the Bad Batch and what happened. I guess what I really would like to know is, do you think that moving Loki to Wednesday was the right move? Let's start there. Yes or no? Put it into the chat. Do you think moving Loki to Wednesday was the right move? You let me know. And I'm going to take us into the theater. So yeah, it looks like a lot of people. Some people are like, no, it should have moved. But a lot of people say yes. A lot of people say yes. So, I guess it's just, to me. All right, let's just pull up the official Loki Twitter account. Let us just pull up. That's a bunch of pictures of Loki. And that is not what we're looking for. What? Loki! I had the Loki thing pulled up. Okay, here we go. Let's take a peek at this. This trailer is actually pretty interesting. This is actually the one that was played on Monday night for the special preview via the NBA, which was pretty interesting. Let me pause this and let's just spend a minute here looking at some of this stuff.
This variant is insubordinate, stubborn, unpredictable.
He's doing great. You need the god of mischief, but he's really arrogant. I am Loki, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Unbelievable. Wherever you go, it's just death, destruction, the literal ends of worlds.
I know.
Original series streaming June 9th only on Disney+.
I mean, it's cool. And then it moves to Wednesday, right? So let's just see. This is the thing that happened yesterday. Was out getting tacos when this happened.
Hi. Hello, it's me. It's Tom. Look, I'm sorry to interrupt. I've noticed that in these long superhero montages, Loki tends to get, a bit left out, even though arguably he's incredibly heroic himself, cunning, charming. I could go on, but maybe why don't I just prove it to you? Wednesdays are the new Fridays.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. They even, acknowledged that it was on the 11th, and of course they have to because they had promoted it for June 11th, you know what I mean, thoroughly. Here's official promotion for it on June 11th. Okay, so, here's the thing. I guess what I can't quite wrap my head around is, when was this decision made? Did nobody realize that this was a thing? Because, frankly, as fans, we've been talking about this for months. We've been talking about the possibility of this for months. Did somebody at Disney figure it out? Is there literally just somebody that was like, these are shows that are supposed to be coming out on the same fucking day, right? You know that? Did you know that? Oh shit, Bob! Somebody call, but somebody, holy shit, the shows are gonna be going. And then they literally get Tom Hiddleston to be like, Wednesdays are the new Fridays. Is that what happened? You know what I mean? Because that can't possibly be what happened, right? So what did happen? What did happen? Was Feige originally like, oh, no. We're just going to be coming out on Fridays because that's what we've been doing. That's what we would do. It makes sense. We're the gorilla in the room. We get the Friday thing. You know what I mean? And did Star Wars possibly say, nah, fam? Nah, fam. I think you'll have to scoot that booty. It's just as a fan, I'm getting a lot of mixed messages from the Mouse House. Because the whole week started out with a very epic, but sort of domineering Marvel MCU trailer. On a Monday before May the 4th. It was weird, man. I literally, we talked about it on Monday. I was like, this is weird. This is just frankly weird that such a thing would happen. And then the Tuesday, May the 4th, didn't seem very... it seemed kind of lame, to be honest with you. They didn't really have any announcements. They didn't really tease anything. In fact, there were more leaked announcements yesterday from different fans and scoopers and insiders out there than Disney officially gave for Star Wars Day. For Star Wars Day. For literally Star Wars Day. And the night before, there was this Loki thing. You know what I mean? And then Wednesday, the 5th, it was one day of reprieve, and then massive news from Marvel. They shift the date to Wednesday. You know what I mean? I don't know. For me, it's it just is weird. It's weird mixed messaging. I'm sure it's gonna be okay. But frankly, I didn't really see that big of a deal with Loki and Clone Wars, going head to head. Now, once it went into sort of live action, sure, you know what I mean? You don't want Book of Boba Fett episodes, going up against She-Hulk or something like that. But even then, what? I guess I just don't understand the mentality. Is it more about the trending and stuff? Is it oh, well, we need Loki to be trending this day and then to pop here so that it gets all of its love and circulation? Because, as ridiculous as that sounds, social media impact, not only is it a metric by which you can judge how the show's doing, but it's also now sort of a new metric that companies are going to start using to show shareholders. You know what I mean? It's now going to become a value storage number for shareholders and for, stock prices and all sorts of weird stuff like that. So is this a move by Disney to be no, we need to be able to dominate the entire week you know, to sort of have our stuff kind of popping, but also not sucking out the air in the room. You know what I mean? But frankly, like, the week has just been so weird between Marvel and Star Wars. I can't help but think that there's some... It's either, like, okay, the conspiratorial side of me is like, it's bad blood, right? But even if it's not bad blood, it's at the very least a lack of clarity between those places and between the leadership of these companies. You know what I mean? Like, at the very least, it's that. Because frankly, like, they changed it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was going to be the 11th, and then they moved it to the 9th very late in the game, as far as I'm concerned. That's weird to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's weird. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So, before we get into Q&A, I did want to bring up the story of Black Superman. Again, interesting, very interesting story that happened yesterday. And just like a lot of the things that we talk about here, guys, it's not even the story itself that is the most interesting part. It's sort of, for me, the fact that you must understand that the studios and the trades and what they put out there is very telling of what could actually be happening behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? It is a very interesting time right now. And one of the narratives that I'm hearing is that when it comes to Michael B. Jordan, and when it comes to Black Panther 2 and Blade, and it comes to the Black Superman movie, that the studios are seemingly courting a lot of the same talent, because they both want, like, the most epic black directors. They both want the most epic black writers. Like, they're trying to sort of stack the proverbial deck for their films and their major blockbuster efforts of, having representation. So your mileage may vary on how you feel about all of that, but regardless, it is a thing that is happening. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite interesting to me. It is quite interesting to me. And for some reason, I can't download Al's take because it is a humongous file. Let me try this again. This is a very large file. Let me try to download it again. Why did this one not work?
What it do, nerve vengeance.
Okay, we got him. We got him. All right, let me get this pulled up for y'all, because I definitely want... I'm actually really curious to hear what Al has to say. Al has incredible takes. And this will be fun. We'll do, like, Al's take, and then I'll do a take after Al's take. And we'll take after the take. And then we'll do a take on the take. Taking it to Take Town. Take. Don't take. Oh, I got Al on a very bad pause. Hang on, let me fix this. I can't possibly do that to my man. Okay. Better. Boom, here we go. Buckle up. Let's see what Al has to say. By the way, I was supposed to check this to make sure that Al didn't say anything that would get the entire channel canceled, and I didn't. So let's just see what happens.
Do nerve vengeance. It's your boy Al, and you know I had to come in here and give you some heat regarding this whole Black Superman, Black superheroes in general situation that seems to be...
Okay, first of all, how dare you, sir, come in with such a dope shirt like that? It's so distracting how excellent that shirt is. And the excellent After Dark Lounge background. Whew.
swarming around in the interwebs these days. I know yesterday Warner Brothers came out, made a big to-do about the idea that they're trying to hire these black directors or a black director for their Black Superman project that they want to put out. And a lot of people aren't really down with that, you know, myself included. But I think it's a little bit deeper than just not wanting to see it, and understanding, you know, and being able to unpack all of the levels to this is, I think, something that's very, very important. So I want to get into just a little bit of that with y'all, and then, you know, y'all feel free in the comments or on the stream to let us know how you feel about it. But basically, I hear about this news yesterday, right? And so I do a little bit of research. I'm looking into it, and I realize that first and foremost, they dropped this news on Henry Cavill's birthday. Shade much? Like, come on, WB. Like, what are you doing at this point? Like, you are making no attempt to conceal the fact that you are using these types of news breaks to just totally kind of throw shade at some of these actors or actresses that you not really jiving with, or that you want to get the message that you're not really going in the direction they want. Now, people have been saying that we want Cavill back as Superman. I mean, I'm a person who really did enjoy the Man of Steel movies. I know Batman versus Superman is kind of meh for people. Some people really didn't like it. I thought once they dropped the extended cut, it really did a good job of making that movie make a little bit more sense. And then once we got Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think we all could agree that that's a universe that we'd love to see them explore a little bit more. But here we are, they're going in a completely different direction, and they're trying to give us a Superman that nobody seems to really want. And I think we really need to touch on why it is that nobody really seems to be down with this, because I think it's a very nuanced point, and I think there's levels to it that actually make this a little bit deeper than just people raging out about it.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, so totally fair. And again, yeah, doing it on Cavill's birthday and just the underhandedness of it, it doesn't, like, it's just not cool. And even if it's just a sort of error in judgment, it hurts, because how are people supposed to take that, given all the behavior before this? How are you not supposed to feel a certain way about it? And then there's sort of this tinge of like, yeah, but you can't even bring that up because it's such a good thing that you would be crazy to bring up the fact that we're clearly being underhanded with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm implying there? And then this is where I think Al's going to get into some more of the nuanced aspects of it, because frankly, like, it is kind of crazy that I think at the surface level, most people would say, oh, Black Superman, that's awesome. And it is awesome. But there's things about this exact situation that when it has to do with a studio, and it has to do with a studio that has, frankly, a history of behavior that doesn't match up with what they're trying to sell you with this headline. And there's a lot to that. But let's hear what Al has to say.
Calvin Ellis is a version of Superman that exists in the comics, a Black Superman. But that's not what they want to do for this movie, apparently. They want to race bend Kal-El, Clark Kent, and turn him into a black guy. And that's where I get off the ride. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm totally down with the idea of introducing a black version of a predominantly white character. I have no problem with that, except for when there's precedent for that character to being black in the first place. If we've got Calvin Ellis, then why would we want to see Clark Kent as black? That just don't make sense. Like, at least not to me. And it you know, understanding that and kind of and seeing that's where they're going, like, I can totally understand now why Michael B. Jordan ain't really down with it, because he said as far back as 2019 on an Oprah interview that he's, you know, would be more open to the idea if they did use somebody like Calvin Ellis, you know, where there is that precedent already, instead of just completely race bending Clark Kent. Like, that just, there's something about that doesn't feel genuine, you know? And for me, it's really hard for me to digest or to really look at WB and believe that they're coming from a place of sincerity when you look at the way that they are setting this up, when they drop the news, how they're handling it, And on top of that, the fact that they seem to be completely tone or culturally tone deaf to what people want. Now, I know when I was looking at this again on Twitter and I was looking at some of the responses, like people were raging out. Black Twitter had a big problem with this. And a lot of people were saying, that it's tokenism. And I want to be clear about something. It's not the fact that they want to make a predominantly white superhero black. It's to my point that I said a minute ago. It's that there is already a precedent for this character to be black. There's a black version of this character, not of Clark Kent, but of Superman. You have a black man. I think he was the president in the comic. I'm a little bit of a normie when it comes to the Superman comics, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe Calvin Ellis was the president of the United States. And so he was a completely different persona or person, not Clark Kent.
Yeah. And
this was a black man. So why, if you want to make a black Superman, why couldn't you make some type of an adaptation of that comic book run?
Yeah, and there's something, and I'm sure like Al will get into this a little bit as well, but it's like there's a part of it too. And by the way, if you've ever read Grant Morrison's Multiversity comic book, there was a black Superman there from a different Earth than Calvin, I believe. And like it has something to do with like it's not necessarily good enough to have the black version of the character and put that character on spotlight. It's almost like saying, in order to legitimize the black Superman, we would have to take the white version of it and turn him black. And it's like a weird, almost gatekeeping tokenism kind of feel. It doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It feels like, oh, well, here you go. Have this thing that is clearly good because it is this thing, and now we're going to turn that thing into something that you can get value out of, instead of being like, okay, here's a version of this character that upholds all of these same values, that has parallels, that has connections, that has the name of Superman, but just is black. It would be like, and I saw somebody on Twitter say, it would be like saying, instead of wanting Miles Morales and having Miles Morales, who is like, in a lot of ways, a pretty authentic mixed race, modern version of a Peter Parker type character, it would be like saying, instead of wanting Miles Morales and having him possibly even have interactions with Peter, which are really fucking cool in the Ultimates comic and build in, some cool shit, it would be like, instead of that, no, let's just turn Peter Parker into a black person. Do you know what I mean? And that mentality is not the same thing as organically creating a character that is uniquely and authentically whatever or whoever that character is. It's different. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel, at least to me,
really
it
does
feels weird.
not make sense to me why you would go in such a very odd direction with it when you have a clear blueprint. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I think a bigger part of this also, especially when you look at the fact that Michael B. Jordan is tied to it, and this is something that we kind of touched on, I think, on After Dark last week, or over the last couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, with the homie Lavis. Make sure you check us out on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you very much. But, we talked about this, and if you're Michael B. Jordan, would you rather play a race-bending Kal-El or
This is a great point.
Clark Kent? Or if there's even a remote possibility of you being brought back into the Black Panther universe over on the Marvel side, which would you rather really be a part of?
It's not.
And I think, the answer to that is clear because of the fact that even if you want to say that Marvel's participating in the same kind of game that's going on right now with, the Black culture movement and seeing like this new precedent being set by these studios, I think you can at least give
Alan, welcome, Alan. You are
Marvel
a Nerd
credit
Avenger now.
for being
Sorry, I don't
able
want to interrupt
to
the man.
bring in, people like a Ryan Coogler, people like a Malcolm Spellman, who can actually accurately depict the culture in a way that makes sense and that is entertaining at the same time. You can say what you will about, Black Panther. There's most people, I think it was critically acclaimed. There were some people I know that I talked to really didn't feel it that much. I know there's a lot of people that really weren't feeling Falcon and Winter Soldier, but if you really look at those cultural elements to those two projects, you really do see black excellence being put on a pedestal in a way that we really haven't seen in modern cinema, in my opinion. You just haven't seen that. And so I'm all for seeing more of that. Like I can't even say enough how much I love seeing that when it's genuine. But there's a question that, you know, you can't help but ask when Warner Brothers is doing stuff like they were doing yesterday, that it's like, okay, where is this really coming from? And what are you actually trying to accomplish with this? And it's almost like, for me, it feels like they're just basically trying to ride a wave. Like, black is in right now. You know what I'm saying? Make no mistake about that. And a lot of people, rightfully so, from a business perspective, are trying to cash in on that. I personally have no problems with that as long as it's done in good taste. It's business. And if that's what's popping in the streets right now, then there's no reason that I, as a businessman, wouldn't look to tap into that market or to tap into that demographic. Excuse me, but you do have to make sure that you are doing it tastefully and that you are paying proper respect to that culture in doing so. And that's not to say that, you know, if Warner Brothers brings on somebody like a Regina King, that she wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? This is not a thing where it's like, well, anybody that's involved with that project would be grimy, or I don't want anything to do with it, or I'm gonna look at them different. No. But I will be more open to giving it a fair chance and looking at it from a fresh and balanced perspective if it seems like it's coming from a place of good faith. And just from what I was seeing yesterday with the whole situation and how it was playing out and the information surrounding it, just didn't really seem genuine. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me why you would be so set on just race bending Clark Kent. Now, there is a flip side of that I do kind of see a little bit. And it could be a thing where, because I went back and I actually watched the little snippet of the interview that Michael B. Jordan did with Oprah back in, I think it was 2019. And again, my man said that he would be more open to playing Black Superman if they did go the Calvin Ellis route.
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting was Oprah seemed really dismissive of hearing the details about that particular version of Superman because she's not familiar with it. She's like the normiest of normies when it comes to that stuff. So there's part of me that kind of understands that maybe from Warner Brothers' perspective, they think going to a Calvin Ellis might be something a little difficult for the average fan to digest or understand, especially if you haven't really set a multiverse precedent in the DC universe yet. I mean, do we really even know
After Dark
what DC is doing at this point? I don't really think we know which direction they're trying to go with this stuff. So
on fire.
There's not a precedent there. So I can understand if that's the thought process, but even still, you got to figure out a way to adapt that original Calvin Ellis story or something. I think it was Val Zod is another run where you could do that in a way that would make sense, and you could kind of adapt it and give him, you know, if you want to make it more mainstream, if you want to make it more normie acceptable, you can kind of give him a little bit more of that Clark Kent flavor or swag, if you will, but it still needs to be something that is rooted in authenticity. Like, it just can't be, oh, we're going to slap a black face on this white character. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's Hollywood. I mean, in some ways, too, it's Hollywood. Like, okay, so look, I want to be a little bit fair here, and we'll cruise through like 5 more minutes. Look, I'm sure that Al will have a lot to say about this tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this exact channel. You got to come back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm sure Al will be getting into a little bit more of this as well. But it's like the Hollywood, to a degree, to be fair, some of this is Hollywood just being boomerish and being out of touch, okay? But I think the part of it that's annoying for me personally, and I know it's annoying for Al because he and I talk about this a lot, is that the studios have this really fucking snooty way of approaching these issues where basically, like, if you don't fall lockstep in with what they are telling you is the right side of the argument or progressive whatever, that, like, you're bad. They don't want that. The truth is they don't really want a ruckus, and they don't really want to think hard. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to have to come to terms with that some of their ideas are so fucking out of touch that it's insulting to have them try to like do these things and have us believe that it's for morality, equality, or what have you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like for me personally, I see Michael B in these interviews and I feel for him because he is in the Hollywood machine and he is probably dealing with an incredible amount of forces within just that machine. And how fucked up is it to be in a situation like that where like I just can imagine being in these meetings and being talked to about the intrinsic value that you bring to a project simply because of your race or something like that. It doesn't feel right. And I feel like he is in a weird spot trying to do the right thing because ultimately there's also this sort of swarmy, normie perception of people that you do want to do the right thing. You don't want to look bad, but then for me, it's like, are the studios legit trying to put Michael B in a situation where they're going to try to make him look bad if he doesn't do this project, if he doesn't fall in line, or if he doesn't feel like it actually lines up with his, ideas of what would be the right thing to do here? Are they trying to position him to look bad, to leverage him to get back and sign it? Because here's the other side of this. It's like Al said, some of this comes down to business. Marvel's trying to lock up black talent for Blade and for future projects, okay? It's currency right now in the current social climate. And make no mistake about it, both of these studios are ultimately money-making machines that are trying to extract value out of individuals. That's always been the way that it is, but it gets a little weird when the value that is being extracted seems to have something to do with a person's race and they're leveraging it for profit. Do you know what I mean? That feels weird. It doesn't necessarily feel right. And then you look over at what's happening with Black Panther 2 and it has a totally different vibe, man. A totally different vibe. Not only is it Coogler and company and a bunch of black excellence that you don't have to make it up. You just look at Black Panther. You know what I mean? You don't have to have an imagination and wonder what was going on there. You look at Black Panther. You understand what Nate Moore and all of the people were doing there. It's right out there in the open. And then you have obviously Chadwick Boseman and all that he meant to so many different people. And that loss for that community of people, but for the world. It's a totally different vibe there. And like, I don't know, man. It's an interesting, weird time right now. I don't want to make it seem like we think that none of this came from any of a good place. I'm sure there are a lot of people that feel as though they're doing the right thing by doing this, or they want to help, or they want to do the right thing. So we can't just say that Hollywood's horrible, that all of these people suck, and that they're all horrible, because it's not that simple either. A lot of this is just antiquated thinking. A lot of it is being out of touch with actual human beings. But at the same time, the thing that feels the most rotten to me is how I feel a weird pressure from all of the people that I know that are connected to whatever apparatus within Hollywood, et cetera, that I can't even be real about what I'm seeing going on because of exterior pressures or the way that it could be perceived or used against me, et cetera, et cetera. What a weird time, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? And Michael B. Jordan, blink twice if they've got you, my guy, because we don't give a fuck about these companies, man. We care about human beings. You're an incredible actor. You're an incredible man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just feels weird, man. Blink twice if they got you.
I do want to make sure to touch on this as well, because I think it's really interesting whether it's Marvel or it's DC. It's really interesting to me what's going on right now in Hollywood when it comes to the black agenda or what's going on with the culture, because Feige, I think, even mentioned in an interview recently, going back to WandaVision, how they took out Doctor Strange, or they didn't use the Doctor Strange angle because they didn't want a quote unquote white guy showing up at the end. And it just, there was even some talk that the Marvel had turned down, I guess, some really good story ideas because they had a lack of diversity. And so I just really start to wonder, like, what's really going on with how this is being presented and what moves these studios are making. I mean, again, I'm all for progression. I'm all for, genuine progress when, talking about how the black culture and black people are represented in film. But the sudden pivot to me just doesn't feel genuine in some instances. Now, again, when you talk about Black Panther, when you talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think those are excellent examples of how to do it the right way. And I think, and I'm confident that Feige and the MCU will continue to do that. But I also want to say, don't like sacrifice or don't neglect to give me great stories because you think I've got white fatigue. Like, where is that coming from?
Right.
I don't understand where that angle is coming from, or why it is that we're putting such an emphasis on the labels of what's being represented in these mediums. I think, you know, for me as a black man, and this is something that I'm sure the homie Lavis will agree with because we've talked about it multiple times, but I think what really would make the best sense and what would really show that we are truly moving to a place of progress where progress has been made is when we get to a point where we're not discussing the racial aspects of any of these rumors or castings,
Right.
or any of that whatsoever, and it's just an afterthought.
Yeah.
Because right now we're still in a place where there's emphasis on being black and being a superhero, or being a black, or doing a black superhero movie and things like that. When I'm just waiting for the day when that doesn't matter anymore, where we don't bat an eyelash or we don't take a second look when we hear that, when we're not like geeked at the fact that, oh snap, Ryan Coogler's getting a movie. Nah, man, that should be the norm.
Of course.
Like, if you have the goods, if you're great at creating content that people want to see, your color shouldn't matter. And that's where I want to get to with things in a bigger picture perspective. But, you know, bringing it back to the situation with the Superman character, I grew up loving Superman. Superman was probably one of my favorite comic book heroes when I was a little kid. And yeah, there was parts of me that kind of imagined being, you know, Superman, and never did it really dawn on me, or never did I really feel like I couldn't imagine that because I was black. I just didn't look at it that way. I didn't see race in that way until I got older. And then I started kind of understanding the nuances and the implications of race. And yeah, there were certain times where I would watch movies and I was like, you know, well, we're the black people. Why is it that this always happens to us? Or why are we always the ones getting killed off? Things like that. But I mean, you start to understand, you know, certain tropes. And yes, some people can look at it as racism. Sometimes I choose to look at it, you know, just from a humor perspective. So, you know, like the case of Lamar in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was like, we all knew what was going to happen there, man. Come on. Like, that to me is not racist or a racist trope. Like, that was a black man. And even Malcolm Spellman said so himself. It was like, we laugh. It's funny to us. Like, we know how that goes. And so to lean into that, that's almost kind of a wink, wink situation at the black audience because we know what's up. And that's the kind of stuff that I really do get pumped about and that I like to see, you know, in my content. Again, I do want to see more diverse content, but I want it to come from a place that feels authentic, that feels like, you know, there was some thought put behind it, and that it's not just a cash grab or not just an attempt to pivot. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing that I really want to get on is the Ray Fisher aspect of this, because I know yesterday Ray Fisher also came out and did his, you know, standard tweeting, firing back at Warner Brothers and pointing out the fact that, you know, they're doing this, you know, in lieu of, you know, doing the actual Calvin Ellis run, or that they're trying to use this to cover up for the fact that they were treating, you know, according to him, their black actors and actresses in a way that was unbecoming or that was, you know, kind of messed up. And again, I totally understand where Ray Fisher is coming from in the sense that he doesn't want this to be buried. But at the same time, there comes a point where it almost, even from that aspect, feels disingenuous because you haven't put anything specific out there about this stuff. Like, I know that he's done interviews. I know he's talked about the, you know, the responsible parties and things like that. But like, when are we going to get some black and white concrete information? When are we actually going to start putting down what really went down? Like, when is that going to come to light? Because one of the things that's starting to happen is people are starting to get what I feel like is Ray Fisher fatigue. Like, I mean, my man hits Twitter and everybody's just like, all right, here we go again, this dude again. And it's just, it waters down the message and it's less impactful. And so while I understand the fight that he's trying to fight, I think he's got to look for smarter ways to do it so that it doesn't just get swept under the rug as, you know, salty actor that's mad that he didn't get his way.
Right.
If it's more than that, then we need to know and we need to understand what that more is so that we can then make decisions as consumers on whether or not we still want to support Warner Brothers. Because right now, as it stands, I'm still a Warner Brothers fan and I still want to see what they're coming out with. But if it's a race bent Superman, I'm not down with that. Like, I won't say I'm going to boycott it. I'm not going to watch it, but there's no part of me that would be hyped to see that because, again, I'm interested in the more authentic, the more organic takes. And as long as that's the direction that, you know, these studios go in, then I'm down with it. And I think that we collectively just want good content, whether it's black content, white content, Latina content, doesn't matter. We just want to see good stuff on the screen. Put something out. Is it dope? Cool. Let's see more of it. If it's not, all right, let's go on to the next thing. And it's just, it should be that simple. But unfortunately, as we know, we live in a society where nothing is really that simple.
Right. We live in a society. My man hit you with the we live in a society. And he's got that dope shirt. Can't. I'm super jealous of that shirt. All right, so we're going to leave it there. Again, go check out Al and Lavis tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They'll be holding it down on After Dark as per usual. Wow, I can't speak today. They will be holding it down on After Dark as per usual. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on back for that. Now, let's get into Q&A. And I will say this, too, just to add on to a little bit of what Al was talking about there. It's such a weird time. You know what I mean? It's just such a weird time. And I frankly was like watching people react to the news yesterday, and I'm just like, does Warner Brothers have any idea? Just any idea how out of touch they are? You know what I mean? How out of touch. And, you know, you might not feel the same way that I do. You might not feel the same way that Al does, and you don't have to. But I, at the very least, think that the people who have been really quietly looking at some of this stuff out there being like, man, those people need to be a little bit more vocal. And a lot of the people that have been rage baiting and trying to make it so that everything that happens when, you know, a Dr. Seuss book changes or what have you is like the end of the world, those people need to shut the fuck up because they're not helping the conversation, because they drown out the ability for more reasonable people to make nuanced points about things that actually matter. And when it comes to studios trying to just use these ideas to either shield themselves from criticism or get wokey points on Twitter or something, it's absurd. And so it's just, I don't know what the solution is, but I'm trying, really trying to help out. I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying to be the shepherd. Okay. Let's get into Q&A. Let me try to pull this up, okay? Give me just a second here, folks. Give me just a second. We shall get into the Q and the A. Let's see. Hang on. Let me try this first. Let's try this first. Okay, so Dr. Cool, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. Superior AF, welcome to the Nerdvengers. I feel like that happened yesterday, but either way, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. 1111, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. Forehead Face, very cool name. Welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. Alan, we got you, but Alan Ewald, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. And Adam Nelson, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. Now let's get some of these super chat. Super chat. Damn, we almost had a hit number one song right there. Chase Floyd with a $5 holla says, "Hey Josh, first day as a blue badge. How's it look on me?" Oh damn, that blue badge is looking real good, Chase. Flaunt it around, man. Go down to the After Dark Lounge. Flash it. I'm sure you get a free drink or something like that. Astro Pendle with the $5 holla says, "Odds the fly in WandaVision is Mephisto." 100%. They emphasized it too much to be random. Also, I'm still on the War Machine as a Skrull train. Hey, I like that train. That's a cool train. Also, that fly was probably Doctor Strange at one point, and it made a lot of sense, and then they just gutted it all because he's a white dude. Niman Habard with a $2 holla says, "I think Loki will be more epic than the other shows." I agree, and I'm very excited for it. Please save us, Loki. Save us, Owen and Tom, from mediocrity. Sinister Gains of the 250 says, "That Venom trailer you showed yesterday was sick." I know, wasn't it? By the way, guys, we showed the leaked Venom trailer that nobody else has on the internet yesterday, and we showed it in separate frames throughout yesterday's stream. So if you go back in and spend time putting together the frames, like you'll have to watch the stream many times. Don't use an ad blocker. And you'll have to watch the stream many times. But if you spend enough time, you'll be able to pull out each individual frame of the Venom 2 trailer on yesterday's live stream, and you can put it back together for yourselves and enjoy it. Logan Moe with the $2 holla says, "More people will watch Wednesdays than weekend nights." More people will watch Wednesdays than weekend nights. That's very possible, I suppose. That's very possible. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's fair. I will say I think a lot more people would be able to talk about it throughout the week and have it trending and whatnot. You know what I mean? Wednesday to Wednesday is a very interesting cycle. Big Stevie with the $5 holla says, "I think Star Wars TV is just doing much better than Marvel shows, so they're leaving it on Friday, and Loki can start a new Marvel day." That's actually a great point, so let's talk about that for a second. I thought to myself, I wonder if the fact that Mando Season 2, I mean, from what I can tell, just absolutely obliterated both the Marvel shows. Now, you could say, oh, well, the Marvel shows have this better of a metric or this better of a metric. I don't care, dude. I literally don't care. You're not going to sell me a shit story that makes me make sense of what I'm seeing in the analytics. There's no way that's true. If anything, growth on the platform in general has helped the shows maybe outpace what Mando did at the time, but that is simply a numbers game. To ratio, it doesn't compare. Mando Season 2 absolutely demolished those shows. I also think that if you look at, and this is just from what I've heard, that if you look at the Clone Wars Season 7, that show demolished numbers. Like, Disney was blown away at how well that show did. So it could be a thing where they were literally like, nah, man, like, this is the crown jewel. The Star Wars shows are killing it. The Star Wars fan base on Disney Plus is strong. You have to move, Marvel. I don't know if that's true. I think it was probably a decision they all came to together. But again, it's weird. It's a little weird. Notorious BFG with the $5 holla says, "Disney wants the MCU Star Wars rivalry. What better way to suck all the air out of the room for everyone else?" You know what? You could be onto something there. You could be onto something there. We knew it was always a possibility that these two IPs would go head to head in some regard. You know what I mean? So, it is possible that it has already happened. Michael Phantom with the $5 holla says, "Perhaps it's because so far the Star Wars original content tracks better than Marvel." Again, fair point. Mando and Season 7 Clone Wars were being better reviewed and liked than WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. I agree, Michael, and I think you're onto something there. Could have been at least a factor in the decision, because I just don't believe for a second that Feige wanted to give up that Friday. I'm sorry, I don't believe it for a second. Slow-mo 1203 with the $5 holla says, "In my opinion, the shows had to move due to the movies coming out on Fridays. Hollywood is promoting going out to the movies. A Quiet Place is theater only." Oh, that's kind of interesting. So Slow-mo is saying perhaps it's a macro play by Disney wanting to have their streaming content not be a weekend thing, but rather be for the weekdays. Consumer behavior could be a thing. They could be trying to build in ritualistic consumer behavior or new expectations. That is pretty interesting, Slow-Mo. Interesting point. Finto182 with the $5 holla says, first ever super chat. Love what you are doing, man. Keep it up. I also think Disney made the call to move Loki to dominate another night in the week. Very possible, Finto. Appreciate the love, my friend. And yeah, I think there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of good thoughts going on in the chat today. A lot of people are interested in what is going on. I just find it interesting. You know, look, it was June 11th until fucking yesterday. You know what I mean? So something happened, right? Quentin Lee with the $5 holla says, I don't think Marvel would let Michael B. Jordan leave to be Superman, which I think is why he's pushing back on the rumors. So that's interesting, Quentin. I don't know that he was locked up in a contract for the Black Panther sequel, though. I don't think he was locked up. If anything, he had like an option. I just highly doubt, especially with the way he's talking about the Black Panther 2 project, I don't think he was locked up. Now, I will agree with you insofar as I think Feige and Marvel and Disney do not want Michael B. Jordan to be Black Superman, because they don't want Black Superman with Michael B. Jordan to compete with Black Panther 2 or Blade or whatever other thing. They're thinking of it in simple demographics terms. You know what I mean? In like as a silo of content. You know what I mean? They're thinking of it, again, in antiquated, weird ways. But there is an argument to be made that if Michael did one or the other, like for instance, if he did not return to Black Panther 2 and instead was Black Superman, it looks a certain way. You know what I mean? It looks a certain way. Vice versa, if he does not play Superman and instead becomes Black Panther or just in general returns to Black Panther 2, that looks a certain way. Do you know what I mean? So in some ways, there is a weird PR battle going on, which to me, again, just doesn't feel that great. Trev with the $5 holla says, Michael B. Jordan is developing the Milestone characters owned by DC. Static Shock. Maybe he wants to play Icon, which is a Superman archetype. That could very well be the case, and it could sort of get into some of the things that we were talking about, Trev, where it's like, would you rather play, you know, some people don't agree, but tokenized Superman? Or would you rather be an authentically Black character, you know, that probably came from Black creatives? You know, like that's sort of the more, there is something going on to that. And look, I don't know what that's like, but I can assume that as a member of that community, that pressure weighs heavily on you. The decision you make, and not just the decision you want to make, but how it would be perceived to your own community and also the world. It's a lot of fucking pressure, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fucking pressure. Appreciate the love, man. James A. says with a $5 holla, Wednesday is Woden's Day or Odin's Day. Was the ruler of the Norse god realm and associated with wisdom, magic, victory, and death. Yeah, and Thursday is Thor's Day. You know what I mean? So, I look, I get you, and I know that the producers tried to make us feel like it was a simple... I mean, what are they literally trying to make us realize that, like, they just figured out, like, the etymology of, like, what? You know what I mean? I appreciate the thought here, though, James. I'm just not going to be that charitable. Like, that's cool, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. If that was the determining factor to make a late-in-the-game switch was the etymology of the day and how it related to Norse mythology, I'm gonna lose it. No, it cannot possibly be the case. You see what I mean? It's a cool factoid. It cannot possibly be something that makes a corporation make a big decision. Proxy with the $5 holla says, Snyderverse Jon Stewart solo movie would outsell Black Superman every single time. Just give us that. Yeah, I mean, Jon Stewart is... Jon Stewart's a really cool character. He's very Black, you know what I mean? And very cool. I think that character would do really, really well. And it almost feels like they're afraid to do that character. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's just... I don't know, DC, you got to show me something. You know what I mean? Like, there's something to be said for the fact that even making the announcement about the racial aspects of all the talent and all that, like, you're just taking a weird angle on it, man. You know what I mean? A weird angle on it. D-Man Lewis with a $2 holla says, I didn't realize they were turning Clark Black. smack my head. Yeah, hopefully we're misreading it or misinterpreting it, or they could still do it well, but again, it's like the T'Challa thing. Like, just recast T'Challa. Like, we can't just act like Disney saying the right thing to do is to not recast T'Challa, and all of us feel like, no, recast him, and we can't just like let our voices be silenced because the corporation says that the right thing to do is this. That's where I'm at with it. It's like, look, I'm trying to be fair. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be fair, and I think it could be cool. By the way, an Elseworld black version of Clark could be really interesting. They already did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Anyway, D-Man Lewis says, I was excited because I thought we had a different one. Yeah, and look, it could still be cool. It could still be cool, but we must be honest about this. Quentin Lee with the $2 holla says, hot damn. Preach, Al, preach. Yes, for sure, man. Look, he's very insightful man, that Al Shuler. I've had many a long calls with my brother from another mother that also happens to be a brother. Ryan Armelli says, sorry guys, got to the stream super late. It's all good, bro. You definitely don't have to super chat to apologize. We love you. Kyle Carter with the $10 holla says, gotta get some nerd coin legit. Gambled my way up to 71K from 5K 2 weeks ago. Give me that nerd coin and take my money. P.S. Morning streams make being in the hospital with pneumonia way better. Man, Kyle, that's first of all, it's incredible that you've gambled that much. I'm shocked and also horrified that you guys are breaking the system, but we will figure that out, and much love to all the nerd vengers. So there's that. But also, look, frankly, I had a bad day yesterday, man, and I'm going through some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and the week's been very stressful. And there was a moment yesterday where I was so stressed that I just needed to reach for something to just take my mind to a different place. And I just desperately needed that thing. And it made me realize in that moment that our stream and our content can be that sometimes for you guys, which actually created a crazy cycle where I even got more stressed out. But the truth is, it's a beautiful revelation because it means that, like, this silly ass content of us just coming up here and just talking about nerdy stuff and talking about what's on our minds, it can make a big difference, Kyle. And so, like, I know that you mean that, and I hope that you get better. And I'm sorry that you're in the hospital, and I'm sorry that life beats us down sometimes. Man, I wish it was not so, but it is so. And we have to be strong for each other when we can. So, love you, Kyle. Josh I with a $20 holler, very generous. Nerd Vengers, I got to split. Got to go to an Arc Flash class. I can't wait for the next Bad Batch episode. Josh, keep being awesome and keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you. P.S. Take my money, brother. Hey, man, thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate the love and the support. It means a lot. Appreciate you, man. The Amethyst Bendu says with a $4 holler, everyone's takes on this are on point. Appreciate you, man. And honestly, I don't really mind if people disagree. I really don't. But you got to be respectful, and I think we got to hear each other out on these things. You know, again, the corporations don't get to decide what's right and wrong. We do, Obi-Wan the Homie says with a $5 holla, crazy to see how both Warner Brothers and Marvel are trying to capitalize on IP while bypassing the stories that built these heroes like we wouldn't know. I see you. Yeah, man. There's some weird stuff going on with that as well, Obi-Wan the Homie. Al and I have been talking a lot about that as well, and I'm hoping it's not what I think it is. You know what I mean? I'm hoping it is not what I think it is, because it would be a shame. I don't want to linger on negativity. I want to be positive. I want to be happy. I want to be hyped up about this stuff, but there's also just stuff that is going on that is like strange things are afoot at the Circle K, Ted. That's pretty much where I'm at. T-Love 816 with the very generous, way too generous $50 holla. You guys, holy cow. I hope y'all are still able to eat. With the way some of y'all super chat, you're making me real nervous. Are you okay? Are you guys okay out there? Do we need to create a place where the Nerd Vengers can come in and get, maybe we need to put like food up on the Nerd Venger store. You guys are buying all these like dope products from the Nerd Venger store. Maybe we need to make food a thing that you can get with Nerd Coin, because you're all making me nervous. But thank you very much, T-Love. We appreciate the support. Says Al out here spitting truth. I always love hearing takes from my black brothers from some other mothers. Much love to the whole Nerdvengeance crew. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, and there was even a measure of talking to Al about giving his take on this, that even that felt a little bit weird, just being honest with you guys, where it's like, look, there's this expectation, and I know, like, we all just know what it is, but, like, we got to try to be honest and move past this stuff and get to a better place. Because even the fact that, like, there's an expectation that Al has to come out and give this incredible nuanced take and tell you, you know, what it is, there's pressure and weirdness that's involved with that. You know what I mean? But, like, I mean, obviously we know what it is, and he killed it. He has the perspective. He's a well-thought individual. You know what I mean? An incredible asset to our team. But it's just weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why does he need that pressure as well? You know what I mean? It's just a very interesting dynamic out there. I think we all want to do better, but we got to stop trying to, like, act like we know that for sure what we're doing is the right shit. You know what I mean? But thank you very much, T-Love. Joey Ebbs with the $5 hollow says, Al and Josh spitting facts, son. Keanu as Ghost Rider or bust. Nerdcoin to Saturn. Nerdvengers to the move. F Warner Brothers. Simpin' ain't easy. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate the love, my friend. Forehead Face with the $5 hollow says, finally caught my first live stream and became a Nerdvenger. Let's go! Also, watched Justice League Dark last night. Fire. Yeah, man. Those animated Justice League Johns, whoo, some straight fire over there. Again, it has to do with vision and a singular voice. You know what I mean? Because a lot of that was Bruce Timm and Bruce Timm's team, the Warner Brothers animation team. Just shows, you know, good leadership, good vision. You know, it's pretty wild what it can accomplish. Felicity with a $10 hella says, when Feige said his BS about mansplaining, people were falling all over themselves to give him a pass. But Black Kal-El is a step too far. It all comes to the same place. Welcome to the rebellion. So, again, I don't know if I fully agree with you, Felicity. I think it comes from a place of ignorance and perhaps antiquated thinking and boomerish thought. And there's a lot of Hollywood stuff that's going on there, too. But, I don't think it all just comes from the same place, and I wouldn't want to vilify or perhaps draw a line in the sand that, like, all of the people that are acting this way or every single person that says a thing that triggers me is an enemy. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? I think, frankly, Feige, if he even said that, because if you read the quote, it's, like, editorialized really crazy, and I'm just like, I'm not even sure, like, what part of it he said. Where's the quote? You know, it's like a really weird thing, but let's just say that he did. It could have been sort of an offhanded, colloquial thing to say because he's in front of a bunch of wokies. Do you know what I'm saying? And if anything, that should be something that we all fully understand, just given the social pressures and the weirdness that's out there in the world. But I think it's important that we, as fans, as best we can, just try to keep it real, bro. Look, they fucking watch the show. I'm just gonna say what it is. A lot. Like, I know that there are people that watch our stuff. There are people that watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. Disney has those people out there. I would like to believe that there's at least a portion of them that are legitimately trying to figure out what is going on, what do fans want, and understand the world better. But they're not helping themselves when the thing that gets editorialized, which, by the way, is not for anything other than clicks, for the most part. When the thing that's editorialized is the most divisive part of it. Do you know what I mean? But I do agree that this, like, lackluster BS, like, I'm sorry, like, that is bullshit, Feige. Like, that is bullshit. And if that's really how you feel, then a lot of fans need to stand up and say, dude, that's whack. You know what I mean? And then maybe you need to just hold the L because you thought you knew what people wanted to say or you thought was the right thing. Bro, it's all good, but that ain't it, fam. You know what I mean? Like, miss me with that shit. So, Felicity, I totally get you, but I'm not ready to say welcome to the rebellion. You feel me? AJ Flores, the $3 holla, says, what are we doing if Loki is whack? Oh, man, let's not, nope. AJ. I'm not ready. I'm not emotionally ready to have that conversation. Michael Oden with the $5 holla says, it's my birthday. I love the Wednesday move. Take my money. Appreciate you, Michael. Happy birthday to you, brother. And yeah, man, it's going to be fun on Wednesdays. I'm just trying to think, like, do I have to become nocturnal? Like, what's going on, Marvel? What's going on, Disney? You know what I mean? Emoji with the $2 holla says, shout out to Adam keeping Discord lit last night. Thank you, Adam. I didn't know that he was keeping stuff lit on Discord, but shout out to my main man, Adam, holding it down on the Discord, because Papa Josh needed a little brain break. Needed a break for my brain. Jim says with the $5 holla, maybe the lack of announcements on May the 4th was because Disney might can KK soon. I doubt the new HBIC wants it to be tied to KK's future projects. I don't know. I mean, that would be, again, like, if that's really the explanation, it's still just horrible, not just for Lucasfilm, but for Disney. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, if that's the case, wow, super disappointing. Because, I don't know, man. Like, that would be if, like, for instance, like, I wouldn't be even happy about that. There's no part of me that's happy about that. Because that would just show that it's really unstable over there, and that either Disney's interfering or Lucasfilm is just totally off their rocker or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, that would be not cool. I can't take pleasure in that. Like, there's no silver lining for me being like, okay, so maybe the reason May the 4th was super lackluster is because they're finally getting rid of Kathy. Well, it just shows that even then, maybe getting rid of Kathy really ain't the problem. Because if it's continuing to fuck shit up, even as she's on the way out, then maybe I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know, man. That's not doing it for me. Felicity with the $5 holla says, look, Warner Brothers gave JJ a $500 million. You know they ain't got good sense. That's fair. Lens flares and mystery boxes is in our future, people. Have a nerdy day. I mean, I think that's totally fair, and I was interested in how J.J. Abrams definitely not directing this movie was like part of the fucking pitch yesterday. That seemed to be a thing. How are you going to pay my man $500 million, try to get a Superman reboot with him, and then spend resources to make sure everybody knows he's definitely not directing it, though? I'll tell you this. Hollywood has probably always been this ridiculous, but now in the digital age, in a post-Rona world, we just get to see it more, and I'm just laughing my ass off, because some of this stuff is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Elisa Scott with the $5 holla says, if Warner Bros. Screws up In the Heights for me, I'm going to lose my mind. They better not mess up, or else I'm going full scroll. I believe it. And unfortunately, I will probably have to reap most of that wrath. So please, Warner Brothers, don't screw that up. Jesse Bond says with a $5 holla, Loki on Friday, July 9th would have clashed with Black Widow. That's a great point. That is interesting. Definitely seems to be a portion of y'all that think it has something to do with the films, which is at the very least interesting. So, could be. Yes, could be. Certainly a chin scratcher. Certainly a chin scratcher for me. Could be. Yes. Big Stevie with the $5 holla says, thank God you have someone there for you now to help when those days hit, brother. Absolutely, Stevie. I am grateful to have that help around me. Absolutely. And man, yeah, definitely. She's pretty good. Sheev the Wise with the $5 holla says, don't stress yourself, my homie. Sorry you going through that. Sending some Nerdvenger love. I hope you start feeling better. We love you. And then a goat emoji. Well, thank you so much, Sheep. Look, it is what it is. It comes with the territory, my friend, you know? Much like some of the people I was describing in today's show, that there's a certain level of stress that comes with responsibilities. But on days that it doesn't break us, it does make us stronger. Thank you. Corey Allard says, take my lunch money. Aw, man. The lunch money, dog? Also, if it was just $5, your lunch was going to suck anyway, so don't even worry about it. Timothy Gregg with the $5 holler says, anyone else ready for Witcher Season 2? Don't even hear much talk about it. Yeah, there's been a couple leaked photographs, nothing too crazy out there about it, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped, bro. I hope they do it completely linear this time, though, because it was a little weird that first season. It's just hard to set up a new world and have world building done when you're Tarantinoing it. You know what I mean? I just didn't think that was the best choice, but yeah, Tim, I'm into it, man. I'm excited. Dually76 with a $5 holler says, hey Josh, enjoying my birthday today from home. Much love to y'all at the Den of Nerds and the Nerd Vengers. Let's go! Thank you, Dually, and happy birthday to you, my friend. Hope you're treating yourself today. Treat yourself. Normies to Nerds with a $5 holler said, I would have been more pleased if Soup was black because of his talent instead of doing it this way. No authenticity. We can smell BS a mile away, Warner Brothers. Yeah, man. It just doesn't ring authentic. And again, given the fact that it's a studio that has such a history, look, the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. You know what I mean? They gotta show me something, man. You know what I mean? Show me something. Matthew K with the $5 holler says, the mouse makes some questionable calls, but the next decade of content is about to be friggin' epic. I hope. LOL. For now, I'm hyped. Hashtag take my money. Matthew K, you're absolutely right. Look, all of these people, all of these studios, we want them to succeed. We love the content. We love nerding out. And I never wanted this channel to become the dreary political channel, okay? But it's not. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not actually the political stuff that's bugging me. It's the reaction by these companies and their expectations of fans to just fall lockstep in what they're saying is morality. That shit's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? I also think it's ridiculous to have the pressure to say or basically be like, nah, like all of this stuff makes sense and not call what I see out. Again, we don't want the content to be that way. But I just feel as though we're in a weird phase right now, and I frankly have to be as authentic as I can be about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, the next decade of content's going to be dope. You know, like, dude, Marvel has some incredible stuff coming down the pipe, and so does Star Wars. Star Wars has an incredible amount of stuff coming. There's Andor leaks. It looks dope, man. There's a lot of cool stuff. I just am weirded out by the lack of May the 4th announcements, and I feel a certain way. It almost feels like Star Wars is sitting back like, are you going to say anything about it? Are you going to be a real big dick face about May the 4th? And then they would use me being a dick face about May the 4th to sort of have a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, see, this is why we didn't want to do anything for May the 4th. The fans are just ridiculous. No, the fans are ridiculous because you're fucking ridiculous. You're fucking ridiculous. That's what it is. So you can see how it's just a weird balancing act for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but also I can't just sit back and be like, everything is going fine. Machine Gun Carter with the $5 holler says, for the children. Amen. For Cuscala Lopez with the 200, I don't know what this is, my friend. Maybe rupees or something. I'm sorry. Can't see it on this screen. Birds of Prey. Did Warner Brothers care about the writing or fleshing out of those characters? No. Female characters deserve better than that. Same with all kinds of representation. Do it well, otherwise it will end up making it all worse. I agree. I had a soft spot for Birds of Prey, but it really was all to do with Ewan McGregor's Black Mask. I felt like his performance was fantastic. And there was some stuff that felt genuinely Gotham. There's some weird moments in that show that like feel like I'm actually living in Gotham. You know? Or that movie. But yeah, there's a lot of ridiculousness there. Rogue Soul with the $5 holla says, get some army surplus MREs on the Nerdcoin store. Keanu as Ghost Rider. Man, it's going to be a happy day for my man Rogue Soul when they actually get Keanu as Ghost Rider, if they do. Tim with the $5 holla says, much love, Josh. Very grateful to have this place. We are proud Nerd Vengers. Thanks for everything you're doing, dude. Thank you, man. You guys are incredible. The support is incredible. Beak with the $5 holla says, this is my first super chat like ever. Love the morning streams. Also, did you see they just released a Stranger Things 4 trailer? Yes, I did see that, and I do want to like react to it, but honestly, I'm still not feeling all that great, and so I just kind of want to run through these super chats and get out of here because I'm feeling lightheaded. I think I might be getting a little sick, and there's a lot of things going on today. So, yeah. But thank you, Beak. We certainly appreciate the support, man, and I am excited for Stranger Things. Tim with the $2 holla says, shout out to Sheev. Lost almost all my nerd coin now. Yeah, I know. Some of you guys are killing it. Some of y'all are losing everything you have in the nerd coin gambling. So we're gonna look into that and see what's going on. We might put some limits on the gambling, but it's for you. It's not for us. You know what I mean? It's for you. So stay tuned. A Par with the $5 holla says, Marvel don't want that smoke, son. Bad Batch probably had a huge opening, and Marvel doesn't want to split viewership on Fridays. Let's move to Wednesday. It's very possible it could be completely done on Marvel's behalf, but something like that was put out on Wednesday, that decision could not have been made on Wednesday. Tom had to record that. They had to have that done. You know what I mean? Oh, and by the way, if somehow they got Tom Hiddleston to shoot a last-minute commercial like that, but they couldn't last-minute figure out a way to put Doctor Strange in WandaVision in a way that didn't overtake her story, or at least do a post-credit scene or something like that, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Elisa Scott with the $20 holla. Holy cow. If Loki isn't the golden child of the MCU series and doesn't fulfill every single one of my expectations, I am for real building my own Westview where the show was great and living there happily. You can't stop me. I probably cannot. Oh, please, Loki. Please, Loki. Please, Loki. Please don't do me like that. Brendan Stranahan says, call in show at some point. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Just not today, my friend. D-Man Lewis. Call in shows are fun. Check out The Amazing Lucas. Yeah, I've actually done some content with The Amazing Lucas, believe it or not. I went on a show with The Amazing Lucas and Andy Signor. It was a while ago, though. Golden Guy Pictures with the $5 holla says, hey, Josh, our new fan film, Foretelling, a Jedi Fallen Order story is out. Me and my team all think you would love it. Okay, so this is it's out now? Cool. Looks like it's 15 minutes or long. I see it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to react to it today because I'm just honestly burnt out, my friend. But perhaps tomorrow or perhaps soon on a stream. Okay, guys, what's going on in the chat? Got a little bit of time. Holy cow, for Cuscala Lopez. Elisa Scott, you all are so kind. What's going on in the chat? Let's hang out. Got like 10 minutes. Watch party tonight? Yes. / tomorrow. But yes. Probably be like 2:45 in the morning or whatever. Hey, Josh, hope you feel better. Oh, yeah. I'll be fine, man. I'll be fine. It's just a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? And we're only human, unfortunately. I'm working on it, though. I'm trying to, like Echo from the Bad Batch. I think if I, cut out a big portion of my brain and replace it with computers, I would have less weakness. So, we're working on it. Josh, just try to take a quick nap if you can. I can't really nap, you know? Can't really, I don't know. It's trouble. I have had trouble sleeping. Did you guys ever get the Discord money link to the Nerdcoin? Not yet. I'm hoping we can do that Saturday morning before the set 2 alarms. I absolutely will. Elisa, Elon's got you with that Neuralink, bro. I know, right? Did I miss your super? Let me see. Did I miss your super? Let me scroll back up here. Let's see here. D-Man Lewis says, please feel better. Much love. Vitamin D. Oh, yeah. We've been supplementing for sure, man. Lots of vitamins. Lots of vitamins in the house. I don't see a super chat. I'm sorry if I missed it, man. Josh will miss all alarms set tonight. No, I won't, Whitney. I will not. Josh, you need to not be so negative. Do better. Run your channel like I tell you to. You have to listen to me. Says the guy that says friggin' Doctor Strange ain't even the Sorcerer Supreme. Die. Josh, there might be something to Kathy Kennedy being booted soon. Lucasfilm is hiring 2 executive assistants. Hey, look, fair. And again, if that is real news, we'll talk about it at the time when it comes. But like, yo, it still doesn't make. Like, it's still ridiculous, dude. Yeah, it's still ridiculous. Yeah. I really don't think that, I don't think she's going anywhere, frankly. In fact, I think that might be the cause of some tension. That cooldown is killing you. Is there a cooldown for the gambling or whatever? Josh, you have a platform? Here's how you should run your channel. Sincerely, Levi. Quote of the day. Felicity says, basically, even if she gone, they need to get their shit together. 100%, man. 100% Felicity. Anything on Blade? The only thing we have on Blade is that it would appear the production is delayed. The rumor is this is because they are trying to court some of the same talent that Warner Brothers is trying to court for the Black Superman film. So kind of like what Al said, Black is in right now. You know what I mean? They're trying to cash in. And so it is possible Blade is being delayed. Some people say it has to do with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Some people say it has to do with the director they're trying to get, whatever. But yeah. Yo, Black is in. Black has been in my opinion. I think African American culture has been sort of actually mass appeal for like the longest time. Like people all over the world have loved iconic, you know, African American pop stars, African American, you know, figureheads or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of always been the case, man. One of the most appropriated and recreated vibes out there. You know what I mean? You look at the Japanese and the way that some anime and manga and just in general Japanese art has had a sort of fusion with specifically African American culture. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. Did you see Andrew changed his answer a little bit in his recent interview? Yeah, he called me. Andrew called me. He was like, bro, did you have to go that hard on me? And I was like, man, nobody even watched that video. It got squished in the views. He was like, I watched the video, Josh. And I was like, well, good for you, Andrew. Did you decide to not lie to us as much anymore? And he was like, yes. And I said, good. Now get out of my face. So, yeah, no. His answer seemed very rehearsed. Yeah, it's called boilerplating. You know what I mean? Kansas Beef Theater says, hey Josh, where's the news about LucasArts coming back to make Star Wars games? Yeah, well, that news kind of came out a while ago. Again, that's another thing that's kind of weird. It's like, why didn't, for instance, when they had all the Legend stuff and then Tarkovsky's Clone Wars and all that, why was all that announced before May the 4th? It seems like it only came out like a month or a month and a half ago. Why didn't you just hold on to that and drop that May the 4th? Like, I just feel a really weird disorganization coming from that studio, man. Really, really crazy. 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 Who is in Chicago and wants to rent out a theater for Black Widow? I want to rent out a theater for the Nerdvengers and do a big movie, but I don't think Black Widow's going to be the one. Lisa Alexander says, did I miss it? Did I miss the chat? Nope, Josh. Still going. Feeling better. Feel better soon, my friend. We love you. Broke Venger here. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Lisa. Thank you. Do it for Spidey. One of the best Green Lanterns is black. Why can't we get him? Says Emoji. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Mother-in-law had me do it. She's all about the herbs. Heard that. Josh, let's do Zack Snyder's Justice League together in rented theater. Oh, that'd be great, man. That would be great. Look, there's just a lot of stuff that we have to get sorted out for the channel. You know what I mean? There's a lot. I have very high expectations for us. I really want us to be hitting our marks. I was absolutely crushed yesterday when I looked at how poorly some of the main channel YouTube videos are doing and just how the algo is treating us so badly over there. And it's just like, nah, man, we got to figure it out. It's not okay. So, by the way, today at 3 p.m., I'm doing a stream with the Nerdventure Prime members. So if you're a Prime member, I'll be streaming. Look for that to pop up on your Discord. And I'll be talking a little bit about what happened yesterday. I want to try to be as real as I can with you guys and just talk about how you deal with situations like this. You know what I mean? John says, hi, I'm new here. What's up, John? Welcome. Welcome. How many views / likes are you wanting to see on the main channel per vid? Look, anywhere from like 14K to 30K per vid would be great. I understand the YouTube's weird. I get it. And we haven't been giving that channel the attention because we've been over here. I totally understand it. But it's just like, it's just not a good look if we can't be, like, there's something wrong. We're either running videos too close together, we're doing bad stuff in the metadata, we haven't properly grown authority back for certain tags and things like that nature. It's just unacceptable. You know what I mean? It's just unacceptable that those videos are not performing the way they need to. So, we'll get there. We will figure it out. How much is it to become a Prime member? I believe it is $10.90 or $9.99 a month. $9.99 a month, which after YouTube's fees, taxes, transaction fees, cycling down, I think we get about a quarter. After all is said and done. So $9.99 out of your pocket, a quarter into ours. Shy Avengers, what movie should we do to get Josh to show up? Well, it's not about that. It's about time. It's about time. No, we get more than a quarter. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy. And by the way, if you're on Apple, if you're watching this on the Apple Store version of the YouTube app and you're super chatting, it's 30% off the top from Apple, 30% off the top from YouTube, and then it's us. So if you're on Apple, get the fuck off of Apple when you're super chatting us. Please. Jedi Jen upgraded to Prime membership. Thank you, Jedi Jen. Welcome. Who wants the rest of my nerd coin? I'll take it. Yeah, the BAT. We'll be working on the BAT, ADA, all that kind of stuff very soon. We'll get it figured out. Frankie Goach says, my theory is Disney Plus moved Loki to future shows in prep for films coming out, leaving Thursday to Friday for film debuts. Marvel film. Yeah, that's fair. You know what? That's fair. It seems like there's a large portion of y'all that are saying that is probably part of why they're doing this. And I think that's fair. It could also make sense in the fact that that's why they did it so late in the game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No, it was definitely because of Bad Batch. Hey, I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, I think it obviously has to do with Bad Batch, but YouTube has stealing likes. YouTube is a mess. T-Love with a $5 holla says, it's funny because I stream the video on my work phone, iPhone, but I super chat on my personal phone. Nice. Killing it. Killing the game. As it were. All right, all. We're going to get out of here. Much love to all of you. Should have an NNR dropping later today for you. Look for that around 6 o'clock. And, yeah, We'll be at it tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come back. Watch Al and Lavis. The show is fantastic. They're always cutting it up, talking about dope stuff. They will talk a little bit, I'm sure, about some of the things you saw Al talking about earlier in the stream. And feel free to bring your opinions, thoughts, questions, concerns to the stream. We're a pretty reasonable bunch over here. If you're respectful, we'll be respectful back, you know? So you don't have to agree with us. You just have to be respectful. Come on back for that. And then, yes, we will be doing the watch party. Come hell or high water, I will be awake. And I will be watching The Bad Batch early in the morning. Talking about nerdy shit. Come on by to the Den of Nerds Live. 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Etc., etc. All right, everybody. Much love. Much love. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Chet. Yeah. Oh, now you have the music on? How am I supposed to do a proper stinger if we can't even let the music play out? You know, man, you really have not been on top of your shit ever since we moved. Figure it out. Did everybody go? Is everybody gone? Did everybody go? Is everybody gone? Make sure you guys come back for the Nerdvenger stream on Saturday. If you are a Nerdvenger, come back. Something really cool I want to talk to you guys about. I want to just put something into your mind's eye, into your ear holes, into your brain. The Den of Nerds. The future of fandom. That's right, the future of fandom. 4 words that the world will never forget. We'll talk about it on Saturday. Yeah, fandom's 1 word, dude. 4 words. Come on. Come on, think about it. Future of fandom. Hello? Anyway. Bye-bye.